Yeah, absolutely. Music. I started playing music when I was 3, loved it. Piano was my first love. And then after my awakening, I discovered some very high frequency instruments in singing bowls. And that took on a whole new meaning for me. Um, the connection between music and physical self, we have to understand the heart. When we hear music in a certain pattern, a certain beat, depending on the tempo, we start to resonate with that sound, and that actually our heartbeat starts to resonate with it. So people who do drumming, for instance, you can get into a drumming and it's meditative, and next thing you know, you're feeling like you are the drum, and your heart starts resonating with that beat. When you slow down the tempo, your heart begins to respond and slow down as well. When you pick up the tempo, our heart starts to syncopate and resonate with that tempo. So
Wow.
music in and of itself, I'm not going to talk about lyrics. That's another topic for another day. Music in and of itself can either elevate us, it can sedate us, it can
Mm.
excite us, it can take us back in time. You might hear a song, maybe you hear Nat King Cole, you think of, I don't know, you go back in time, right? We hear
Sure.
certain songs and we relate to a certain element. But when you think about the effect that the musical beats has on our heart and our brain, it can actually energize us or it can actually wind us down. So it's important to be conscious of what you're listening to. Lyrics aside, be conscious of whether you find that music to be soothing. Is it too stimulating? Is it too much of a high tempo where you actually begin to feel stressed because you just can't keep up with the beat? You'll notice back in the 40s and 50s, things were really slow. We
Sure.
got to the 60s, the tempo went up. We got into the 80s, it was and we keep going up and up. That's not a natural progression.
Mm.
The original form of music on this planet was cyclical. It moved in a spiral. It wasn't straight 4/4 beats and all that. So when you listen to music in that nature and some of the classical music you might listen to, you'll feel yourself going in a spiral, and that's actually beneficial for our brains as well. So pay attention to what you're listening to. It's either going to excite you, it's going to relax you, it's going to soothe you, or it might actually, have a negative impact on you. But the beat is also important because you don't want to be overly excited and feel stressed. When it comes to TV, and sorry, certain musical instruments carry certain frequencies that are beneficial not just to listen to, but it helps put you in a more um, a deeper state of awareness. For me, as I said, it's singing bowls. Other people love listening to drums. Someone else might like listening to brass instruments, for instance. Find what works for you. Find what gets you to that place where you're going to be a little bit more aware and conscious and relaxed. When our brain cycles down from beta and it moves down to alpha, alpha is where we're relaxed, we're calm, we're open to suggestions. Between alpha and we're cycling down a little lower, we begin to have insight, we get clarity. So the calmer your brain can be, the easier it is for ideas to flow. Um, Answers will come to you. It's a really good thing to take a break and get to that nice state. Music can help you get there. Um, the connection between vibrational frequency and television, I have a whole chapter in my book on the vibration of the media. On a personal note, we decided as a family to stop watching TV for about 7 or 8 years, raising 3 kids. Check out that chapter. We did survive. It was great.
You're still here.
They're still here. They still talk to us. Yeah, they're good. And oddly enough, most of my 3 kids hardly watch TV today. Um, the media is designed to convince you that you need something. Many of the messages in the media commercials are designed to give you a sense that you're missing something, you don't have enough, there's something incomplete about you if you really look at these commercials. And so for me, the commercials in and of itself was giving us a sense that I'm missing something, I'm lacking something. And the minute you start thinking that you're lacking something in life, you begin to look out for stimulus and you look out to fill the well. And I believe you're born with everything. Everything you need, you have. We
Wow.
have everything. We came fully loaded. That's my belief. We came,
I like that.
we came here fully loaded. We got everything we need. The beliefs that you've inherited, the social standards you've inherited, some of the things you've been taught may limit your beliefs, but we came here fully loaded. That's my belief. The content of most television shows, you and I were talking earlier, Klarque,
Yeah.
not a lot of substance.
No, it's not.
Everyone's checking out everyone else's life. Reality TV is taking over. How many educational shows can you say you've seen in the last 2 months, honestly?
Mm,
Uh, okay, what has inspired you in the last 2 months on TV?
nothing on TV.
There you go. So you're not really getting much for it. And there's an actual theory that the more you watch TV, it's like you're brain dead. Your brain just checks out. You're
Wow.
just, yeah, there's a whole theory about watching TV and the mind being blank and the fact that most people can't recall what they've heard after 2 hours of watching a show. So you're not retaining much. Basically, you're feeding your eyes. My experience with television is that there were a lot of negative information, a lot of fear that we get from the news. There's a lot of sensationalism, a lot of gossip, a lot of hype. All of these things do not elevate the mind. They do not elevate our consciousness. They don't bring me to a higher state of being, in my opinion. And so our family made a conscious decision not to get too involved with television. But pay attention to the messages you get from TV, especially commercials. And that's where I feel it's like supporting the idea that you're not complete. You don't have enough. You need something. Something's lacking. And I think those messages affect us as adults, but they also affect our children. And the minute you start to believe you're incomplete, you're going to be looking for things to help fill that gap. Be it, some kids want to go shopping for clothes, and then 2 months later they need more clothes. You go buy a car today, and in 4 years you need another car. I've known people have bought 5, 6 cell phones in 12 months because they're not happy. Oh, I need this one because this gives me this, and last year's model doesn't have it.
Right. The camera is better on this one.
Or I have better pictures on this one. This one actually does FaceTime. I've seen people buy 6 phones in a year.
Oh, wow.
I'd like we should do a survey, Klarque. How many people have bought more than 2 cell phones in a year?
You know what? I'm going to put that out there. Let's see what happens. It's probably going to be a high number. I'm shooting at 60%. What do you think?
At least 60%. That's a prime example of not believing you do not have enough.
Wow.
Yeah.